Hello, everybody. Joe Bacon Donuts here, and welcome back for another episode of Tsukihime Remake. There we go. Too many syllables in that one. Where last time we finished off Lav, and Ciel didn't lose her job this time. That's so good for her. I'm so happy for her, and also my neck hurts. Ugh. Don't know why that's from. Might either just be I slept weird, or I just noticed I was kind of recording, and I'm sitting at like a 45-degree angle, because like my ass is in the right side of my chair and I'm leaning on the left armrest of my chair, but then I'm also keeping my neck straight vertical. So that way, I'm not looking at my computer screen from a weird angle and I just tweak something. Ugh. I'm old. Never get old, folks. Ugh. Well, yeah. Ugh. Happy Thursday, everyone. It was a long day yesterday and today, which, man, we've just been getting our ass kicked at work recently, huh? Like every time I sit down to record and every day I don't record, it's because we had a lot of work to do. And guess what? I got a lot of work to do tomorrow and the day after that and the day after that because we're so busy that I'm on standby that I'll probably get called in on my days off because we got a holiday this week too. So it's a long weekend, but I'm expecting to get called in on every single fucking day. And then I'm not getting those days on the back end because I immediately go into a training course once next week starts. And let me tell you, they don't respect owed days from the work center. So I'm just shit out of luck, just losing a 4-day weekend because fuck me. You deserve to work 8 days straight because God hates me, I guess. I don't know why. Well, that's a lie. I do know why. I just don't know why this is the form he has chosen to enact my divine retribution through. It's not very biblical. It's just kind of annoying. You know, if it was like fire and brimstone and pillars of salt and all that fun stuff, some real biblical plagues like that'd be one thing. I'd get that, but just making me go into work on the weekend, that's it's almost too personal. It, it it's to the point where it's so uh undirected, so generic that it loops back around to being a slight, a personal slight because of how un oh god, what's the word? Not customized, but personalized. There we go for me. That I don't even deserve, special attention for my divine punishment. Not even gonna appear in Dante's Inferno. Well, I might. I'll just be like one of the guys drowning in lava with like no story or anything. You're just there set dressing. But yeah, other than that, that's my day. That's how my day's going. Woo! Have some nice coffee, and it's really hot today, so I got my fan going. Like it was almost 80, and it's getting close to mid-November. Fuck, the planet's dying. Should have listened to FF7, dude. That's a lie. If you watch, oh god, I think it's a plot point in Advent Children. It's either Advent Children or Dirge, like one of those compilation ones where they're like, where Barrett becomes an oil baron, and they're like, "This is great. We get to preserve the Mako. The lifeblood of the planet is safe. We got this oil now." And it's like, oh, good for you. Good job, Barrett. You totally fixed it, saving the planet. But the compilation of Final Fantasy VII is neither here nor there because I actually haven't finished Final Fantasy VII. I played the original some, but I got up to like right after the Gold Saucer, and for some reason I stopped. I just never got around to picking it back up. I do that a lot with games. It's probably because I'm like undiagnosed and need meds or something, which I might actually call once I put on my new rank and now I'm too valuable for them to kick me out just because of pre-existing conditioning. They have to keep me because I'm worth too much. I have too much experience that I can share. So, tricks on them. They'll need to, one, pay for my medication, and two, pay me. It's a fantastic plan. It can't possibly go wrong. And also keep my security clearance, which I learned it will not affect me. It will not affect my clearance. But it might affect it if I try to go up for like a top secret or a Yankee White. But I don't see that happening anytime soon. So that's a bridge to cross later in the distance that hopefully I won't dread later as it looms closer and closer and closer, and I look back at my past decisions that put decisions that put me on this road. And yeah, I got nothing. We got a real quick preamble this time. It was a slow day. It was a busy day. Nothing really happened. It kept me so busy that I didn't really have time to think. So I don't really got anything to bitch and moan and complain about. So yeah, Tsukihime, woo. Let's hope Noelle is feeling good or feeling better after that vampire bite. It'd be a shame if, she transformed and shrunk to half her size for some reason and got a questionable character design. I guess Oji Nasu still lives deep down in his core somewhere, with his love for little girls, even though he also shares a spot in his heart for giant women at the same time. Which way, Western man? Or in this case, Eastern man, I guess. Though from my perspective, he's in the West, because I'm on the East Coast of the United States. So go all the way around west, and then you hit Japan where he is. So he is the Western man from my perspective. I do not prescribe to traditional Orientalism. Anyway, we're getting into the weeds, so it's best to force a course correction back onto the rails, and just advance the text. That way I'm reading that instead of listening to the voices in my head that are telling me it's a good idea to say these things. Anyway, hey, hi, hello. Soft rays of sunlight stir me from my sleep. My eyes are closed, but I can sense the serenity surrounding me through my skin. The air is cool, as if nudging me to wake. Now that's nudging you to sleep, bud. It's when it gets too warm is when you have to wake up. Feels like it's gonna be a beautiful sunny day. I'm lying in bed, my glasses neatly placed next to my pillow. I'm not surrounded by extreme cold, and I don't feel any debris pressing down on my back. I found myself in a room in the Tono mansion. By force of habit, I put on my glasses before looking around. I take a deep breath, filling my lungs with fresh air. I hear the hands of a clock ticking, offering a rhythm to the chirping of the birds outside. The sunlight streaming in through the window is so pure, I can almost hear the rays sparkle. Yeah, you got stabbed in the shoulder with an icicle. I've returned to my normal life. My thoughts are still a mess, and my joints still ache, but at least things are back to the way they should be. After witnessing the gruesome vision of hell that was that supernatural encounter, this morning feels like happiness itself. For an insignificant human like me, there's no greater reward than seeing our little cinnamon bun. I agree. Sudden greeting startles me into an upright position. I look over to find Hisui standing at attention in front of the door.
Hisui.
Yeah, you were a little too quiet. Hell, even putting a bell on you wouldn't solve that. You were standing stock still. Yeah, you were looking a little too refreshed there. Had to bring it down a couple notches. Well, that caught me off guard. My heart is still pounding. I will kill you, Tonoshiki, for being able to sleep in later than me. Even if it's only by an hour to 30 minutes. Like today I was really tired, and to be honest, I'm still kind of tired. So I let it go to my second alarm at 6:30, which leaves me just enough time to run out of bed, shower, shave, brush my teeth, do my hair, and then throw on my uniform and drive to work and get there early enough. You know, it's not as early as I would like, but it's early enough that people can't really complain that I didn't give enough time for like turnover. It's like I show up just in time for turnover. They gave it to me. I go to my roll call, and then I come back and they go home. But preferably, I'd be there like 15 minutes earlier.
四季様を起こしに参りました。
she's here because it's her job, dude.
秋葉様からここ2
It's
日
like
間
asking
の
a
事情を
bird
説
while
明して
it's
も
in
ら
the
いますの
sky,
で、
while it fishes in
テ
the
コを
sea.
使ってでも連れてくるようにとことづかっております。
Ah,
なんだって。
Akia. These past 2 days. Explanation. Though I hear the words, it's as though they've lost all meaning. I spend about 10 seconds pondering them, resisting the temptation to abandon rational thought entirely. No matter how hard I try, there's no excuse I can find for the past 2 days. I skipped school, I broke curfew, I basically went AWOL in Akia. She was already pretty mad at me when I didn't make it home before dark. I try to imagine the fury I'll face this time.
ま、
Shit. I'm a dead man walking. Can't think of anything to say to Akia that could possibly get me out of this.
あのさ、翡翠。控えめに言って、秋葉のやつ怒ってる。
Very.
さあ、どうでしょうか。
Rip roaring mad.
それは四季様が直にお確かめください。
Aw, come on. Isui sounds coldly unconcerned with my plight. If I'd known things would turn out like this, I'd have done everything to get back.
いや、ちょっと待った。それ以前に、なんで部屋で眠ってるんだ？
They probably just threw you on the doorstep and threw like a sake bottle in your hand. You know, put your school uniform. Tie? Oh, Shiki's uniform doesn't have a tie. It doesn't think I could say. Oh yeah, they put it around your head like you're a drunk salary man, and that was your excuse. Good, perfect cover.
いいえ、四季様はお帰りになられた後、疲れているからと自室でお休みになられたのですが。
俺が？自分の足でここまで。
Like, oh man, you must have been real drunk.
はい。昨夜の10時過ぎにご帰宅なされた
And
折、
only by 10
出迎えた
p.m.
姉さんが死ぬほど疲れている。起きるまで起こさないでほ
Dude
しいと
took
言ってい
pregame
る
a
と。
little too seriously and went into overtime. I don't remember any of that, but I can't imagine Hisui is lying to me. Maybe Ciel dropped me off at the front gate and I walked the rest of the way here. After that brutal battle, I probably wasn't totally aware of my surroundings.
いや、というか。
My memories remain fully intact. Arcuid, Flav, Ciel. I remember them all. I'll erase your memories of this day. That's what Ciel told me. It looks like she let me off the hook. Even so, it doesn't change the fact that Ciel and Noel must be long gone, now that Vlav has been taken care of.
四季様。
ああ、いや、そうだった。思い出した。
I mean, that can honestly be your cover story. Is like, oh, I got roped into that park collapse thing. That's why I have a hole in my shoulder and why I look like I got hit by a train.
すぐに行くから、秋葉にはできるだけ落ち着くように言っておいてくれると
Take your lumps.
嬉しいかな。
It's a show of character.
申し訳ありません。善処いたしますが、成果はほぼないものとお考えください。
I see. Things are so bad that not even Hisui and Kohaku support would work in my favor. At any rate, I should get up. I won't get anything done by staying in bed. A mild dizziness washes over me as soon as I stand up. My body hurts all over. no doubt due to the wounds I suffered last night. I've got all kinds of cuts and bruises, and my muscles ache from overexertion. My skin spasms with every movement, and a low burning pain courses through my body. Of course, if there's anything I should be surprised about, it's the fact that I lived to see another morning. It's a wonder I survived, considering all the reckless stuff I did.
シキ様
I mean, not as reckless as it was in Arguit's, encounter with Vlav. He just kind of hung back and, stole the kill.
ごめん、ちょっと立ちくらみ。着替えたら行くから、翡翠は先に行っててくれ。
Yeah, there was no
大丈
fastball
夫。
special moment in
すっ
this
ぽか
one.
したりしないから。
はい。それではお待ちしております。
Hisui bows deeply and leaves the room. It's Sunday, so there's no school today. I take off the uniform that I've been wearing since yesterday and change into regular clothes. Stinky. I'm not excited for what's about to come, but I brought this on myself. All I care to do is brace myself as best I can for my audience with Her Royal Highness Akia. I'm surprised they'd let you go to bed in that nasty uniform that you literally crawled through a sewer in. I go down to the first floor, pass through the lobby lit brightly by the morning sun, and arrive at the east wing. Fuck, I'm surprised they even let you in the building. Like, they thought they'd throw, like, you and Kohaku in the back and she'd hose you down like a dog. On the other side of this door is a terrifying demon, eagerly waiting to hear her pitiful brother's excuses. No, this is not the time to be whimpering like a fool. Regardless of the circumstances, I skipped school and didn't come home. It's only natural that Akia would want an explanation. I should... Tell her the truth? Question mark? Well, where am I right now? I don't even know what day it is anymore in the game. I guess we can just apologize. Or, it'd be funny. It'd be funny to tell her the truth, right? I'm pretty sure we apologized last time. So let me actually just scroll up. We're on day 6. What did we choose last time? Yeah, apologize profusely. That's boring. That's boring. Tell her the truth. I should tell her the truth. I don't want to lie to Akia, and some half-hearted attempt to dodge the question isn't going to work on her anyway. If I speak the whole truth and nothing but the truth, down to the tiniest details, she'll understand. Maybe.
よし、行こう。
Sincerity is my best shot at getting through this. I breathe deep and open the door to the parlor.
おはようございます兄さん。不思議とずいぶん久しぶりな気が。
おはよう、アキラ。
I sit down across from Akia, letting her angry stare glance off me. Yeah, that's gonna immediately throw off balance. This is your space.
てっきりここ数日の素行の悪さを反省し、萎縮していらっしゃると思ったのですが。
もちろん反省はしている。だからちゃんと正直に話そうと思って。
Yes, we're having an adult discussion here, Akia. It's like I'm older than you and almost an adult, and you pay taxes because you own the house. So in society's eyes, you're basically an adult as well. So let us have a conversation as equals.
そうですか。正直なのはいいことです。普段からぜひそうしてください。
Yes, and we do this because we trust you. And we hope you place the same trust in us.
ここ2日間、
Squandered
どこで何をなさっていたのか、
opportunity to that by
兄さんからご
sneaking out
説
and
明いただ
skipping
けるんで
curfew
すね。
multiple times in a row, but I nod my head yes. Akia nods back daintily. Oh, she looks like a bird bobbing its head.
話すと長いから簡潔に説明する。 俺はこの2日間吸血鬼を退治していたんだ。
There we go.
宗谷で連続殺人が起きているのは知ってるだろ。その犯人が吸血鬼だったんだけど、偶然知り合ったいい吸血鬼に助けられてさ、そのままなし崩しでそいつに協力して悪い吸血鬼と戦ったんだよ。
There we go. And then we met some nuns. The key is perfectly frozen in place. An understanding reaction. I can already imagine how this will go in a few seconds from now.
バカにしてるんですか兄さんは。
I can already hear her yelling at me. But how else can I describe what's been happening? Though it's unfortunate, I can't expect her to swallow such a wild story. I'm sure she'll accuse me of making up ridiculous excuses. Oh, she's like, oh fuck. Is the real Shiki dead? Like we gotta go check up on him. Like, did you guys get him? Fuck. Is she not gonna say something? Like, has he been getting out? She's like, what? She certainly looks angry enough. So what's with the silence?
もしもし、アキハ。
兄さん、今のはタチの
There we go,
悪
play
い
it
冗
off.
談ですか？
Pretend like it didn't bother you at all. Akia's cold, silent gaze pierces right through me.
いや、冗談じゃなくて。
冗談でしょ？
Mm-hmm.
まあ、
For both
そう
of
取ら
our
れても
good,
仕方がない
you know,
けど。
the good of this household, it is a joke. It's hard to stay firm when she's this insistent.
結構です。ですが、今後は冗談だとしても、そのような妄言は口にしないでください。どこに親族の聞き耳があるとも限りません。当の
Yeah.
式は、遠野家の長男にはふさわしくないという風説なんて、私は聞きたくありませんので。
More like they'll come here and fucking kill you if they think you've kind of awoken to your monster hunting blood. They're gonna think, is he gonna come for us next? Is we can't. He's too close. We gotta get rid of him. Though Akia is definitely angry, she doesn't seem to have lost faith in me. Her gaze may be as cold as ice, but she's actually being considerate of my position. I'm pretty sure she's genuinely concerned in her own rigid way.
ごめん、今のは忘れてくれ。俺も悪ふざけが過ぎた。
いいでしょう。この件に関して、これ以上
Yes,
の追及はいたしません。
Clearly the issue at hand is something you cannot talk about or you're not comfortable talking about.
連絡をいただけなかった点については、私にも落ち度がありますから。
落ち度なんて、そんなのアキハにないだろ。
携帯電話を取り上げたのは私です。あれがあれば、ズボラな兄さんでも連絡ぐらいはしたのではありませんか？
Yeah, you are a Zoomer, because he's, what, 17 in 2015? Like, yeah. Yeah. Is he, or is he Gen Alpha? When's Alpha and when's Z start? I can never remember. I'm at, like, the tail end of, like, the millennial cohort, because I was born, like, right in the mid-90s. But I, like, personality-wise and, just kind of interest and knowledge lean towards more millennial because I'm the youngest on both sides of my family, so was always surrounded by people like 5 to 10 years older than me, so those are the things I picked up on. When does Gen Z start? I gotta make sure I, you know, talk down to the people I work with properly. Yeah, Shiki is a Gen Zer. He's a fucking Zoomer. Fucking hitting that geek bar watching Tic Tacs on his phone. Looks like she doesn't know that my phone was secretly returned to me quite some time ago.
ですが、それも今回だけです。今後はこのようなことは控え
Oh
てくだ
god,
さ
does
い。
Shiki play
兄さ
Roblox?
んは遠野家の唯一の男性なんですから、 もう少し
Is he a-
ご
is he
自
a
分の
Club
立場を
Penguin
理解
kinda
していた
guy?
だかないと困ります。良くない外文が
You know,
広まって
myself
しまった
personally,
ら
I was a
トーナ家の
Neopets
今後
and
の人
RuneScape
付き合い
kid.
にも影響がありますし、
I even you know,
い
read
や
down
ー
the
それこ
RuneScape
そ
every
問題
couple
ないだろう。
years, you know, I
俺が何しようと
Kinda putz
興味
around,
も持たないっ
don't get
て
too far.
あっちの方々は。
but you know, it's something I'm familiar with, so
だいたい遠野の跡取りは秋葉なんだから、家のことを思うなら俺をよそに出すなり、遠野の家にふさわしい婿養子でも見つければいいのに。
I'm met with silence once more. I wonder what might have caused it this time.
どうした？気分でも悪いのか、秋葉。
Oh yeah, like that's not something she's already not painfully aware of.
結構です。私を気遣う余裕があるのでしたら、
Then
ご自
again,
分の
like, he
体調を
is
気にしてく
such
だ
a
さい。
strong-willed girl that she would just say no to any arranged marriage.
慢性的な貧血持ちなんですから、兄さんは。
She's right. I do collapse frequently due to my anemia.
ともかく、あまりお一人で屋敷を出ないでください。そうでなくとも、近頃の町は物騒なんです。兄さんみたいにぼーっとしている人は、通り魔に襲ってくださいと言っているようなものなんですから。
それなら大丈夫。あんな事件二度と起きないよ。
Our town had been beset by a serial killer. Called a modern-day vampire in the news, the killer lurked in the darkness, striking terror into the hearts of men. No suspect had been found. But all of that is now in the past.
は？
吸血鬼はいないってことだよ。その犯人はもう捕まったんだ。
Mm-hmm. Turned to ash, gone in the wind.
そうなんですか？それは良い知らせですが、兄さん、よくそんなことを知っていますね。
ああ、たまたま逮捕現場に居合わせたというか。
Yeah, let's just call it that. Saying those words makes me smile wryly. It's technically the truth, one born of an incredible series of coincidences. So much happened during those 2 days I spent with Arcuid. Thinking back on it, it still feels like a dream. But at any rate, the monster that made its nest in this town is gone. I can't deny it being somewhat proud of my involvement.
兄さん、どうしたんです？急に嬉しそうな顔をして。
別に。
Why, wouldn't you be, you know, in high spirits if you heard a fucking serial killer wasn't in your town anymore? Like, I think that's cause for celebration.
ただ、終わったんだなって、ようやく実感できた。
Yeah, the prologue. The prologue's finally over. Now we're to the meat and potatoes of the story. The weight lifted from my chest as I say those words put a smile on my face. Ultimately, it seems that Akia has accepted my excuses. I thank her as I stand up.
いや、安心したらお腹が減ってきた。朝食をもらってきてもいい？
Yeah, you know, I haven't eaten in like 2 days.
私に許可を求める必要はありません。
Which I get the feeling because
朝
I
食まで
hadn't
管理
eaten
する気はありませ
all
んか
day
ら、
long until I got
ご自由
home.
にとってください。
My
琥
breakfast
珀なら厨房
consisted
で朝
of
食の支度をしているでしょうし。
one of the strawberry diet monsters or sugar-free monsters. I had a Sprite for lunch, and then I came home and I ordered 2 hamburgers and a large serving of fries with like a crab dip sauce on them. And I'm still like 400 calories underneath my my, you know, not quite goal, but my maximum allowed limit for the day, which is still only 1500. So I'm feeling not good, but I'm, you know, content with the fact that I ate like a fucking pig for dinner, and I'm proud of the fact that I'm still not even close to hitting my maximum allowed calories for the day.
サンキュー。じゃあ遠慮なく。
Though for the second burger, I did take the bun off and just had the burger, cheese, lettuce, tomato, and it had some good pickles. Normally, I'm not a big fan of pickles, but those ones were good because they weren't too vinegary. I kind of prefer sweet pickles. I make to head for the door, then. My tinnitus. A wave of dizziness hits me again. Ah, this is bad. My fatigue and fever seem to have gotten worse.
待ってください兄さん。
Sister, catch me.
先ほどから顔色が優れないようでしたが、今のではっきりしました。
ああ、実は少し熱っぽい。
I almost said it was nothing, but there's no point in acting tough. It'd probably just make Akia worry even more anyway.
そう謝る必要はありません。お体が優れないのは兄さんのせいではないでしょう。琥珀は朝食の支度をしていますから。
Hooray!
荒木先生を呼びましょうか。
We get to hang out with a rock
翡
this
翠
time.
連絡をお願い。
Or did we hang out with a
今朝は
rock
廊
the
下の
first
方に
time
いるは
then,
ず。
and then it's later when we ask,
かしこまりました。
where we get the choice between Kohaku and a rock.
荒木先生ってあの人を呼んでどうするんだよ。というか、いるのあの博士。
You know, probably just drank too much last night and couldn't go home.
兄さん、くれぐれも先生を博士などと呼ばないように。
Waiting in the wings.
調子に乗ってしばらく正気を失いますから。荒木
Yeah,
先
she's
生
not
は
tender. Or
昨夜うち
tender.
に泊まっていたんです。まだ帰っていないようだし、兄さんの体を見てもらいましょう。あの方、ああ見えて外科の医師でもあるんです。
Ooh.
ここで暮らすのなら頻繁に会う人ですから、これを機に親睦を深めてください。
外科。
I'm about to say that I'm not injured, but I stop myself. After all, I have 100 abrasions underneath these clothes. The problem is that if I get examined here, Akia will find out about them.
診察なら俺の方から行くよ。あの人、楼閣にいるんだな。
Wait, we have an annex?
ここで結構です。楼閣は遠いですから。すぐに来ますから、軽く熱と脈拍を測ってもらいなさい。解熱剤は、いえ、薬なら琥珀に頼んだ方がいいかしら。
There's not really much you can do for a fever. Just kind of have some
兄さん、
Tylenol.
何ですかそんなにそ
You know,
わ
some
そわして。
ibuprofen, reduce the
まさか
inflammation.
その年になって診察が苦手なんですか？
I mean,
診
as long
察
as
に
it's
は慣
not
れてい
like
る。
giant needles.
そういうこと
that's
じゃなくて。
fine. No, regular needles are one thing, but if they bust out like the old-fashioned, like, big syringe where it's like a fucking turkey baster, then youch.
はあ。では、荒木先生が苦手とか？
I got hit with one of those a couple months ago.
苦手
I
と
was
いう
going in
か、
for my
ついて
my
いけない系だろ、あ
pre-deployment
の人は。
shots. One of them was
だから
fine.
そういう
I
話
forgot
で
what
も
it
な
was
くて。
for, but then I got my it was tuberculosis and anthrax. I got my tuberculosis shot.
では何だ
No,
という
no
ので
problem.
す
That was just like a regular
不
flu
満が
shot.
あるの
Just
でしたら、は
you don't even feel
っ
a
きりと
pinch, just
口
a
に
little
し
bit
た
of
らどう
pressure,
で
and
す
then
か？
you're done. And I'm like, oh, you know, that was easy. Bring on the next one. And then they hit me with the anthrax, and that was like fucking like about to yelp like Tom and Jerry, like my best cartoon jump up in the air and do a high pitched scream, which unfortunately I can't do one of those because I just can't. My vocal range isn't that good. I'm able to do like one of the not one of the whooping yelp Tom yells, but like one of the ah! ones.
ここで服
Even that was
脱いでいい
restricted
のか？
because I don't want to blow my microphone off.
俺、診察の時は全部脱ぐけど。
And I mean everything.
全部ってつまり全裸ですか？
Yep. No, I'm not a pervert. Looks like I didn't explain myself very well.
いや、さすがに全裸にはならないだろう。普通は上だけ。
Yeah, and at this age, you know, your doctor, he only grabs your nuts and, like, squeezes in your cough, and that's it.
ですよね。
It's not like he's checking for
上にだ
hemorrhoids.
けということでしょうか？
I make a face that says, What else would there be? Akia gets up from the sofa without another word and heads towards the door. She seems to have gotten the message.
席を外しますから、診察が終わり次第食堂にどうぞ。
Also, maybe sit on the table and not
私は
those nice couches
午後
when
から
you're
外せ
covered
ない
in
会食があ
scrapes.
るので外出しますが、私が留守だからといって羽目を外さないようお願いします。
You know, God forbid you get blood in those nice sofas. That'd be a bitch to get out. Akia leaves the room. Oh, what a relief. That was a little awkward, but looks like I was able to get through this without Akia finding out about my injuries. Ugh. I wait by myself in the parlor. After about 10 minutes, I see Arak approaching through the window facing the courtyard. She cheerfully cuts across the grass. Someone seems to be in a good mood. But if she's coming from the courtyard, does that mean the annex is out of the mansion proper?
はーい、おはようちゃん。
Hi-yo.
朝から体をいじってほしいとか？しきちゃんったら超いいんだ。あたし、シチューみたいにたぎった思春期少年病の餌食になっちゃうのかしら？
Arak enters the parlor straight from the terrace instead of going through the mansion.
すみません。別に悪いところはないし、めまいも収まったんで、帰ってもらっていいですか？
Yeah, can you at least just give me like a cool sticker and a lollipop?
ああ、しきちゃんったら堅物ちゃん。身持ち硬いとか今時流行んない。でも、そんなところが一流のサバイバーなのかしら？情弱しすべしな世の中ですし、目の前のごちそうをほいほいはらませてたら玉がいくつあっても足りないってことかしら。
Yeah, you're too show up for your own good. Don't you know it's the Reiwa era
本
now?
能のように否認してる。
She chatters away as she approaches the sofa where I'm seated. She walks with all the subtlety of a runway model, swaying her chest and hips in an exaggerated fashion. Yet oddly, her footsteps make no sound, almost like a ninja. I still don't know her too well, so I can't really say, but she seems particularly enthusiastic today. Maybe I'm just hoping that this isn't her norm.
それじゃあ患部を出してね、すぐ出してね。ちょっとサバサバするわね。上着だけ脱ぐ？脈拍と心音だけ見てくれってこと？
Yep.
ああ、それはダメ。嘘は良くないわよ。しきちゃん、全身悪いところだらけじゃない。
I mean, you're not wrong. He did, like,
足首、
eat shit a couple times
腰
back
回
there.
りもちゃんとケアしとかないとね。これほっ
Like,
と
get,
くと
get your
明日までに
lumbar
は
checked
治ら
out.
な
You
い
don't want to
のよ。
have, like, slipped a disc or something. Hearing this makes me sit straight up without thinking. Seems I need to make a serious reassessment of Professor Arak. I still have my clothes on, so that means she was able to detect all of that just by touching me?
それはわかります。プロだもん。しきちゃんが生まれる前から可愛いスニーカー。しきちゃんがこんな小さい時から人体見てるのよ。ぶっちゃけ顔色見ただけで内臓のダメージまで分かったわよ。はい、そういうわけなんでお
Must
と
have
な
had
し
to
く
invest
パンツになってね。
a couple skill points to get that
湿
perk.
布は邪魔くさいだろうからできるだけ軟膏で済ませてあげる。あとは点滴ね、栄養剤。とにかくいろいろ足りてないでしょ。
Lather him up.
はい。あ、いや、パンツになるって。はい。
Yep, your
パン
pantsu.
ツはパンツじゃん。要はパンツだけになれって話。トーシちゃんそれで退出してるんでしょ。いいじゃんパンイチ。私好きだな。なんなら全裸でもいいわよ。
Yeah, she seems like the kind of guy to wear like the male lace and like a lacy garter belt. Just under a school uniform.
お酒飲んでませんよね。
飲んでないわよ。私いつも真剣だもん。
Yeah, she's been sitting in her office
そういうところだった。
drinking the like
実はハイなの
isopropyl.
すごくハイ。昨日の夜から脳内麻薬分泌しまくり。 私生活が充実してきたっていうの？ここのところルーチンワークばっかりだったからさ、やっぱり生活には波乱が必要よね。そのあたりしきちゃんには大感謝。だから今朝は特別にきっちり見てあげましょう。
っていつの間にか脱げてる。
She's a problem. Professor Rock has already gotten my shirt off somehow. Just how experienced is she? Fucking man-eater. There's no point in resisting. It would only delay the inevitable. I settle on not getting stripped completely naked and do my best to dodge Professor Rock's magical fingers. You normally gotta pay extra to get the magic finger. The whole thing takes about 10 minutes. She applied an ointment to the areas where the inflammation was particularly bad and wrapped tape around my joints. It's not the most elaborate treatment, but I feel much better already. Only she could keep her mouth shut. She'd be a great doctor.
でも器用に怪我したものね。肩甲骨のあたりとかちょっと普通じゃない感じ。何？喧嘩の相手は一人や二人じゃなかったの？というか刃物持ち出してない相手。
I mean, a knife would probably leave like a much cleaner like insertion. That's, you know, an icicle like literally stabbed with an ice pick.
いや、そんなことはないですけど。
But a really wide one.
すみません、アラク博士。このことはアキハには黙っていてもらえますか？
博士！博士って言った！よし、黙る！博士と言ってくれたしきちゃんのお願いなら何でもだいたい3割ぐらいまで聞いちゃう。
I'm glad she's agreed to keep quiet, but 30% seems rather low.
でも、本当に昨日は何をしていたのかしら？
You know, there was a girl involved and this other guy, and you know, I had to step in.
しきちゃん右手側だけ怪我してないし、もしかして誰かと一緒だった？その人が
No,
隣
he
に
was
いたか
talking
ら、
smack on my
片側
fly
だけス
girl.
キンガードされてたと
I had to give
か？
him one of these.
別にそんなことはありません。一人でした。ずっと。
まあいいけど。もし他に怪我しちゃった人がいたら教えてね。しきちゃんがこれだと一緒にいた人もひどい怪我してそうだし、浅い傷口でも感染症だってあるし、本人が平気だと思っても毒はゆっくり回っていくものだしね。
Hell, one of the first like clinical uses of penicillin was it was like some cop was gardening in his off time and he got an infection in his finger and it almost killed him. But then they, you know, administered him some penicillin and he like rebounded right away. It's like little shit like that used to kill you. At this, I remember how Ciel covered me as she fought. Professor Arak was right on the money. Ciel looked fine, but the injuries she sustained were many times greater than mine.
ま、しきちゃんが一人だったっていうならいっか。でもまだ体力は戻らないわよね。よし、後で点滴でもしとこっか。せっかくしきちゃん用の点滴パックを預かってるわけですし、バンバン
Just like at the end of the fiscal year in October,
トシちゃんから次のお
tell
小
us,
遣いがもらえない
like,
っていう
look around.
か。
If you need new furniture in the office, if you can think of literally anything for us to spend our money on, let us know. Otherwise, we don't get that money back next
そんな
year.
わけで、食後は部屋でウルトラ点滴タイム決定！ 1時間ぐらいかかるから午前中開けておいてね。それじゃ、じゃあ
Little castanets. She scuttles out of the room. It's been 20 minutes since Zakia left. Going by the sound effect, I'm gonna assume her like legs turned into like a little blur underneath her as she left, and she just kind of like not like they didn't turn into like a swirl run, but you know they were such a blur underneath her that it kind of looks like a cone of just like multiple legs going and then just right out of the room. Literal cartoon character. It's been 20 minutes since Akia left. I should get to the dining room and have breakfast. I've kept Kohaku waiting long enough. Hopefully she prepared something that's just as good, room temperature as it is hot. Now that I've had breakfast, it's time to go get that IV from Professor Arak. I lie down during the process and accidentally doze off. Oh yeah, it feels good. Your body temperature drops. Professor Arak left the mansion once the IV drip was finished. The clock now reads noon. I feel a lot better now, thanks to her. If nothing else, I shouldn't have any problems walking. Won't be able to go all that far. Where should I spend the afternoon? I think we went to the garden last time. Ciel's probably not home. She's probably at whatever church office. Because the guide says to walk around the mansion. So that's what we'll do. Because we went to the garden last time. I'll take a look around the mansion. I doubt it's changed much in the last 7 years, but maybe I can discover something new now that I've grown older. Yeah, old houses, they got weird layouts. Well then, after walking around the mansion for an hour, I've come to a conclusion.
立ち入り禁止の区画が多すぎない？
I grumble aloud, despite being alone. Utono Mansion is about as big as a hotel, and just like a hotel, it has lots of rooms most people aren't allowed to enter. Also, I'm not a big fan of the purely white... I'm not sure if it's marble or concrete, or hell, it could even be granite. Like, front of the building, like, the facade's nice, but then coupled with just kind of this austere, tiled, like, entryway pavement area, it's too much. You need some greenery. Like, throw some shrubs under the window, a little bit of grass here and there. A nice manicured landscaped entryway could add a lot to the ambiance. The second floor of the East Wing is particularly outrageous. Not in a bad way, though. It just feels overwhelming. While most rooms were locked, that wasn't the case for the East Wing's second floor. But whenever I thought to check it out, I started feeling dizzy. Almost like the hallway itself was shifting beneath me.
許可なしで入ったら絶対に殺すという強い意志を感じる。
By her, I mean Akia, of course. May just be paranoia, but I avoided the second floor of the East Wing entirely. I fear that if I entered, my social life would be over forever.
ああ、それが正解だ。おいそれと当主の生活空間に入るものじゃない。
Mm-hmm.
昔からここではそうだ
It's
った
all
だろう。
marked with her scent.
四季君。
On an instinctual level, you knew to fear it. Like walking into a lion's den. I jump, surprised at the voice who calls out to me from behind. Spinning around, I find him standing there.
屋
Psyche,
敷
you
の
look like a
探索は
smoker.
終わったかね？
Can we bum a cig?
私としては出戻った人間には実質で
You know,
おと
have
な
a
しくして
manly
いてほしいのだが。
Just kind of leaning over the railing. Just two dudes, smoking.
それはどうも。こっちもよく知らない人間にうちの周りを歩いてほしくないですけ
Okay,
ど。
okay, good barb.
私を知らないのは君だけなんだが。まあ、そこは流そう。お互い深く関わり合う立場じゃない。いたしかゆしだ。
Wow, you really don't like him, huh?
今日はそうだな。私
I
も
don't know,
気が
man. You
緩
seem
ん
to
で
be
いたらしい。
skulking around.
君の後ろ姿から昔を
All
思い
shadowy
出して
places.
声をかけてしまったんだよ。
俺を見て昔を思い出したですか？
Does he mean...
なあ、牧久さんがまだ万全だった頃だ。
What, you're saying the old man had a dopey expression on his face all the time?
ここ数年は部屋にこ
Oh,
もり
no, I
がちだっ
spilled
た。
coffee on my keyboard.
もともとは植物を愛する人で、
Fortunately, it was only a couple
こう
drops.
して
And it's black
屋敷
coffee,
の
so
周
it's
り
not
を
like it'll
歩い
get
ていた。
sticky or anything. But it's a new keyboard, and I don't want it, you know, getting wacky little special like quirks about it because there's fried circuitry in it. I'm trying to clean up as much as I can. And it's just dry. Really?
牧久さん
Maki's
が
like a
植物に
botanist?
造形が深かったことは話したかな、私も少しはかじっていてね。二人でよくそこの植物園
No,
を
he
語
was
り合
it
ったもの
was
さ
it Makihisa that was fond of Korean morning glories?
植物園なんか厳重に施錠されてますけど。
Yeah, that's because Johnny lives there.
入り口は
He
ね、
stays locked in,
裏口は簡単な
you
鍵
know,
で
turning
開け
into
ら
a
れる。
Resident Evil boss. You gotta put the poison in the water supply.
持
And
っ
that's
て
how
い
you
るのは
get to Rebecca
琥珀城か
or save her.
な。あり
Or
が
no
た
way.
いことに今でも最低限の世話をしてくれてい
You
る。
that's how you save Chris, because for that fight or that part of the game, Chris gets captured by the plant monster and you have to play as Rebecca to go get the poison and put it in the water supply and free Chris. I'm trying to remember stuff from when I was like 7. Cut me some slack, guys. Well, that's a surprise. Psyche addresses Kohaku as Miss. It's not at all how I expected him to talk about a servant.
あなたは琥珀さんと親しいんですか？
私があの使用人と
Okay. Also, Psyche, you got weird teeth. I just realized that he's got like one tooth in the middle, like where you'd have like your two front teeth. He's just got one, and then either his front teeth are just misaligned, or he's got a weird set of chompers in his mouth. A sarcastic scoff turns into full-blown laughter. I was gonna say a laughing fit, but it's like, no, that's not what it says. I don't need to ask I don't need to ask to know what he found so funny. Too many little words in that sentence. He's laughing at me.
何かおかしなことを言いましたか？俺。
ああ、いや、失敬。うん。今のは私が悪いな。何しろ君に落ち度はない。ただ、
Yeah, that was a real knee slapper there, kid.
というだけだ。
You know, if you fully get excommunicated from the family for real this time, you know, you can always get a gig as a stand-up comedian.
私は琥珀城とはそう親しくはないよ。彼女と話すようになったのは、アキハが当主になってからだ。琥珀
Oh,
城
you guys got a lot of
アキハの秘
commonalities.
書役でもある。必然、会話の機会も増える。どちらかという
Two
と、
kindred spirits.
私は翡翠城と顔見知りだね。
Yeah. Another surprise. This weirdo and Hisui are acquainted? What does that even mean?
昔の話だよ。それも、ここ数年は全く話をしていない。挨拶程度はするがね。
Oh, that's
さ
unfortunate.
て、私も日差しを浴びすぎた。肌が痒くていけない。
Yeah, go like put some talcum powder on, you know, get some moisturizing lotion. As Goto Psyche raises his hand, a car that was waiting in the parking area comes around to the entrance. I guess that means our conversation is over.
ああ、本題を聞き忘れていた。
Yeah, we're talking about plants,
ど
right?
うかな ?7 年ぶりに屋敷を見た感想は。
特に驚きはないです。子供の頃の記憶合わせができたのは1回だけですし。
answer the human mummy, Goto Psyche's question.
なんだ面白みのない
Yeah, try the garden next time.
しかしそうだな過去から戻ってきたとしても見違えるような現実ならそうはないと
Well, that's cryptic as fuck. Goto Psyche says his piece and leaves the Tono mansion behind. He visits the mansion pretty often. Maybe he has a residence in Soya.
次はその辺りに切り込んでみるか。
It's obvious that he considers me an enemy, or at least an obstacle. Well, you know what they say, know thy enemy, right? I should get some information on him as insurance. Man, that's a dangerous game you're playing,
それはそれとして、
considering he literally blew out your chest with a knife last time. I don't want to end my day off like this. Collecting myself, I return to exploring the mansion. I think I'll try the garden next time. And then does it just take us to the garden? Or... Yep. I walk out onto the terrace. It's the same terrace that stretches behind the parlor. When we were younger, this area was Akia's space whenever the weather was nice. But really, it wasn't so much her space as it was the edge of her territory. Akia didn't venture into the garden on her own. The terrace was as far as she could go.
そうだった。よく庭から声をかけて、家庭教師の目を盗んだっけ。
Yeah, making his life live in hell. Now, that guy was just trying to teach, and then you're stealing his student away when he's not looking. And then he has to explain to Makihiso why, you know, his ward is now, like, off in the woods somewhere. I think she wanted me to come by here whenever we went out to play. She said it was unfair if we went to play in the forest by ourselves, or something. Which meant it was my role to take Akia into the woods and then shoulder the subsequent scolding. I moved from the terrace to the garden. In the eyes of a child, the garden looked like it stretched on forever. Now that I'm older and taller, I can grasp it in its entirety. There are fewer flowers than there were 7 years ago, but the general atmosphere of the courtyard hasn't changed a bit. Good transition effect. After about 10 minutes of leisurely strolling, I reached the gazebo. This is where the garden ends. What that lies beyond is a dense forest. Being mindful not to overexert my leg, I decided to end my walk here.
それにしても、
This place makes me feel like I've left Japan, minus all the, like, Japanese maples. I lean against a handrail and admire the vast garden in all of its autumn splendor. From out here, the mansion feels closer to a castle. I feel so out of place in this picturesque scene that I can't help but force a smile. Only people who look at a home in a place like this are Akia.
I つとシエル先輩ぐらいかな。
Not really Ciel. You see the apartment she lives in? Like, she lives in the most, you know, college student middle class apartment in the world. In a one-room studio. The astonishingly beautiful vampire. And the fellow student clad in gallant armor. Though I guess she would be the knight. And, you know, Arkwood the princess. I wonder what happened to the two of them afterwards. Arkwood was hostile to Ciel, while Ciel, given her position, would likely consider Arkwood an enemy. I can only hope that they went their separate ways without incident.
バカだな。なんでそんな心配をしてるんだ、俺。
Oh, well, you don't want your two friends fighting. Whatever happened, it's all over now. Ciel's objective was to take down Vlav, so she has no reason to stay in Soya anymore. That's why it's pointless to think back on all that's happened.
そうだ。それでいいんだ。もう あんな無茶をしなくていいんだから。
Yeah, that annoying hassle ever again. Now I just get to talk about the family stocks and how they're performing with IKEA over dinner. I stop myself short. Why bother telling myself a lie that I would never buy? Even now, I have all these lingering feelings. My gratitude to Ciel, my hopes for what could have been. It's the same with Arcuit. Although she brought me nothing but trouble, our time together was, well, it was fun.
バカか俺は。
You can look on it back now as like, ah, that was the good old days, because it's all behind you. But in the time, it's like, dude, this shit sucks.
先輩はともかく、あいつはどうでもいいじゃないか。
God, what game was there something like? It was Mass Effect 2. Yeah, it was Mass Effect 2. You're reminiscing with Joker, like, oh, remember the good old days, you know, the Normandy one and the crew, and you know, oh, the adventures we got up to. And he's like, dude, you can look at it like that now because we all survived, but back then, dude, that sucked. That was hell. Like every day was like a razor's edge. And it's like, yeah, but I like the suck because I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite store on the Citadel. She almost got me killed. Why can't I get her out of my head? It's almost like she's got me under Snow Bunny mind control. Why would I want to go through something like that ever again? Because she was real pretty, and she was there with me, and we were like, oh, we're a team. Oh, get to rub shoulders with a cute girl. And then, you know, you're 17, so you're like, hee hee. I sigh and leave the gazebo behind. I take my time on my way back too, wandering aimlessly through the garden. But my regrets refuse to set with the sun, and my thoughts continue to wander long after light has faded from the horizon. Okay, I guess when you look at it from, I guess we were too zoomed in earlier. When it zoomed out a little, you know, there's some landscaping done, but still, it's real. I don't want to say dire. Austere is again the word I'll use because I feel like that's a good fit. Well, my afternoon wasn't all that eventful in the end. After absent-mindedly wasting some time in my room, it didn't take long for dinner time to come around.
なんだろう。体中だるいな。なんか。
Well, that's because you got the shit kicked out of you yesterday. I try to shake off the fatigue weighing down on me like a cold. Must be the after effects of all that excitement the past few days. Now that things are calm again, I don't know what to do with myself. I'm sure another night's rest will put my mind in order. Miki is seated in the dining room with Kohaku at attention behind her, while Hisu has taken her position behind me. Kohaku has prepared a traditional Japanese dinner. The main dish is shiitake mushrooms, bigger, and probably more expensive, than any I've ever seen. They're stuffed with meat, but overall the meal is on the healthy side. Akia, wearing a bored expression, stabs one of her mushrooms with her fork. She brings it to her mouth without any comment on the food. Stuffed shiitake mushrooms. Like you take off the stem and you like put the like probably like chopped meat and vegetable mix like on it, like kind of like a loose meatball. Cause I can get like stuffed peppers because they have a hollow that you can fill, but shiitake mushrooms they're definitely flat. Or am I going crazy? Shiitake mushrooms. No, I guess they do curl up a little, so there's room to put something in there. Okay, it's a little more bowl-shaped than I was thinking. Maybe the ones I buy are just flatter. It's probably because they're cheap. Okay. She just returned to the mansion about an hour ago. Apparently, some unexpected problems arose, and she had to dedicate most of her day to dealing with them.
翡翠、念のため聞いておくけど、うちの夕食って死後現金だったっけ？
Maybe ask her how her day was. You know, even if it's small talk, and she doesn't, seem the most sociable person in the world, a little prickly. I'm sure she wouldn't mind. She wouldn't mind you, making the effort at least, even if you don't talk about anything, of note. I keep my voice to a soft whisper so that Akia doesn't hear.
いいえ、親族の皆様間での談話は自由に行われておりました。
But it can be a little harder too when it's just a one-on-one
じ
dinner
ゃ
like
あ
this.
アキハが黙っているのは単に機嫌が悪いだけ。
You ever go on a date that's not going so well, and you just kind of like the food comes out, and you just start eating, and you can't think of anything to say, and you're like, man, these nachos are real good, huh? And it's like, yep. And that's it. And there's nothing else to say, and it's like, ah. Makes you want to just kind of be like, let me just go to the bathroom real quick, and then swing by the front and be like, check please, and then skip out. Only pay for your stuff too. We're going Dutch. It's 2024, unless you're really pretty, and then in that case, I'll be obligated to pay because I like pretty girls.
申し訳ありません。私には分かりかねます。あくまで憶測ですが、アキハ様はお疲れなのではないでしょうか。
Yeah, even if she's just venting, give her that opportunity to unload some of that stress, even if you have to turn into the punching bag.
いつも不機嫌だけど、今は特にご機嫌斜めだし、ほんとご苦労様だこと。
I nod in sympathy. I should probably give her some space to relax, since her Sunday was ruined by extenuating circumstances. And I know better than to try to throw in a random topic. Yep, it's best to let a sleeping Akia's lie.
聞こえていましたよ。
Or maybe rub her tummy to make her feel better. A little scritch behind the ear.
午後の視察で疲れているわけではありません。
And maybe as a little treat, give her a fried pig's ear or something. My dogs used to love those. Or were they dried? I don't really know how they prepare them. You'd go to the pet store and they just have a basket of pig ears that were all like kind of leathery, but oh man, dogs loved them. She glares at me sharply. I'm not surprised that she saw me talking to Hisui, but the fact that she's actually overheard what we were talking about is terrifying. Just how good is her hearing? Well, she's sitting 3 feet away, and it's an entirely quiet room, other than like probably the ticking and talking of a clock on the wall, and like the clattering of utensils.
それも過去の話ですが。
Though most of that clattering would come from you, Akia seems like the kind of person who would eat really quietly.
どうしても話がある。今日一日の出来事を語り合いたい。というのであれば、その限りではありません。
Nodding in acknowledgement, I resume eating. And maybe talk about that weird encounter you had with Saiki Goto. And like how Dr. Rack, oh, she was so wacky. And then I went for a garden and reminisced about our childhood. Maybe, be like, hey, do you want to go for like a walk in the garden together next time? We don't even got to talk about anything. Just, enjoy each other's company. You're really passive, Shiki. Kind of, I'm sure she'd appreciate kind of, not really extending an olive branch, but an attempt to reach across the aisle. Since I had a small breakfast and lunch, I've worked up a reasonable appetite for dinner. My compliments to Chef Kohaku. These mushrooms are one of the most delicious things I've ever tasted. I tell Kohaku as much, which she takes in stride.
ありがとうございます。ですが、この勝利は当然なのです。今夜の食材は産地直送。恐れ多くも天皇陛下にもご献上されている一品ですもの。
Oh god, does Shiki need to learn like formal court Japanese now that he's, a petite bourgeoisie kid? probably be rubbing elbows with low aristocracy. I was right. These are expensive shiitake mushrooms indeed.
それで私の仕事ぶりをいたわってくれた兄さんは午後の休みをどのように過ごされたのです？
ああ、俺のことか。午後は散歩に出て、部屋に戻ってからはずっとベッドで横になってた。
You know, I was also accosted by a mummy, but, you know, we don't need to talk about it, I guess.
また貧血ですか？
No, he's just a slug.
いや、考え事をしていたら夜になっていただけだ。体の調子は悪くないよ。
つまり
Yeah, I spent the afternoon trying to figure out how to
時間を
download
浪
a
費した
Sega Mega
という
Drive
ことですね。
emulator on his phone to play Sonic the Hedgehog.
そんなくだらないことを
Not
堂
that
々
I
と
would do
口に
that.
しない
I
で
would
くださ
never,
い。
never
私
spend
は
my
何と
entire
も思
day
いません
yesterday
が、
downloading,
他の人が聞けば笑い物になるだ
hooking
け
up
で
my
すから。
legally acquired Sega Genesis to play my legally acquired copy of Sonic the Hedgehog. And just get my ass kicked in Marble Hill Zone. I have no way of rebuting her merciless words. But I'm curious about something she said.
確かに自堕落に思われる発言だった。というか自堕落だった。反省している。
Mm-hmm.
けど、秋葉は何とも思わないってどうして？
Yeah, don't say you went for a leisurely walk. At least say, like, oh, you know, I took a jog in the garden. Could it be that despite her strict demeanor, she's actually pretty lenient with her close relatives?
どうして
He
も
looks
何
up in
も
his puppy dog
当
eyes.
然でしょ。私は党の士気に何も期待はしていませんから。
Mm-hmm. If you don't expect anything to begin with, you can never be disappointed.
兄さんがそういう人であることは
The lowest of bars.
初めから承知の上です。
I see. There certainly is wisdom in that. You can't be disappointed if you're not hoping for anything. Exactly. I'm truly at a loss for words. It's like when I teach my newbies.
いや
It's
ー、
like
ごちそうさまで
I
した。
entirely expect them to just give me blank stares and have nothing I say stick, which is why as soon as I'm done explaining a concept, I'm like, okay, now tell me it. And then they just stare at me and go, ah, and like just say the name of the system, and I'm like, uh-huh, and they say, ah, and then I go, okay, we'll cover this again later.
ごちそうさ
But
ま。
it's not their fault.
食後は習い事がありますので。
They come to
私は
us
これで。
stupid and we need to build them up. But man, do they make it hard.
兄さん、反省なされたのでしたら、今夜は早めに部屋に戻って、勉学
If
に
you're gonna
励んで
practice
く
your
ださいね。
violin, can we listen? That'd be nice. You know, we'll keep quiet. We'll just be a wallflower. Akia rises from her seat and leaves the dining room. With her gone, it suddenly feels like there's room to breathe. I thank Kohaku and Hisui for the meal, then head back to my room. I pass the time doing nothing in particular. I take a bath, study a little, and then lie in bed. Everything is back to the way it was. The carnage and death of the past 2 days are now behind me. If I close my eyes and lie in the dark embrace and let the dark embrace of sleep take me, the embers burning inside me may just be put out. Yep, no more life of adventure for Tonoshiki. But something floats to the surface of my mind. My eyelids are shut, my brain is turned off, and still this vision comes to me vividly. I see her, in the midst of a raging blizzard, a cascade of sparks framing her figure. Of all the moments I will never forget, I wonder why this one stands out above the rest. It's a snapshot burned into my mind. Tears well uninvited beneath my eyelids as I recall this single moment. Feels like I've witnessed something I shouldn't have, like a prayer or oath spoken in utter desperation. Unable to bear it any longer, my eyelids fly open. I dry the corners of my eyes and look up at the ceiling I have yet to grow used to. Despite the quiet, calmness evades me. It's the same way I felt in Ciel's room 3 days ago. Except it doesn't really smell like her. Unless, OG Shiki was also really fond of curry, and it just seeped into the floorboards. Now that I think about it, did I really spend the night in Ciel's room? I was racked with guilt over having killed someone, which I only forgot about after being around Arcuid. But if that night never happened, I don't think Shikitono lying here now would exist. Didn't think the Shikitono. I wonder what that night meant to Ciel. Was she just extending a hand to me because she couldn't bear to leave me alone? Like I was an abandoned puppy in the rain?
そうだろうな。
Just a naturally good person.
あの人。
No deeper meaning to it. Would have saved anyone. I mumble this as if reasoning with myself and shut my eyelids. An honest-to-God hero of justice. I pass the time in a daze, hoping to distance myself from those memories and wash away the impressions they left on me. As long as I can manage this, the things that happened will all fade into the past. My consciousness drifts towards the abyss. Thus does my peaceful day off come to an end. I lie in bed and yawn and slide into a vague slumber, as if I can convince myself it will all fade away. I wake. Feels like someone called out to me. Yeah, I was about to say it's too calm, We got to throw a wrench into the works here. My body feels heavy, weighed down by the desire to go back to sleep. But my mind, alert and aware, does not allow it. Maybe a little reading will do me some good. I'll probably get sleepy in no time sifting through some boring old records. I get out of bed and move to the adjoining room. Adjoining room. Hey, we're actually going in there. I pick up a book from the bookshelf and open it to a random page. Immortality. If this word could be realized, it would surely be considered one of the defining features of eternity. However, a problem persists. There is no being in existence that has attained such a state. Even vampires, who do not age, who can reawaken from death, prove no exception to this. For their inner immortality is defective. They cannot maintain it without feeding off the blood of others. Moreover, they can only feed on others of their own kind, predominantly humans in this instance, which severely limits their versatility. While they declare themselves superior beings, in truth they represent not evolution, but regression. In their dependence on others to sustain their life, they are no different from humans. But there do exist life forms close to perfection, perpetual motion machines in their own right, who have survived since time primordial. These beings feed on and multiply their own bodies. What, sea sponges? The concept of a lifespan is immaterial to them, whose old cells are recycled to nourish the new. Or are we talking like lobsters who are functionally immortal unless they're killed? Such creatures are called colonial organisms. Consider, for example, the jellyfish. However, this perpetual motion is only possible in the absence of sapience. If one is willing to accept eternity at the price of sapience, one may very well seek it in death. Similarly, one who seeks to maintain their human form for all eternity cannot do so through immortality. Over time, the body will decay and the mind will wither. Immortality versus eternity. I have no attachment to the time-worn idea of immortality. And eternity is impossible while one clings to the concept of individuality. So in conclusion, rather than merely prolong my individual existence through immortality, I have chosen to live for all eternity through infinitude. Man, real weird that you just have that on your bookshelf there. Your approach is certainly unique, even among the ancestors. However, under your method, your eternal life would end in tandem with the extinction of humans, no? The process requires a human fetus. It is reliance upon external factors. Is that no different from the longevity of dead apostles? That is of no concern to me. Humans can only function properly in the company of other humans. If humanity were to go extinct, my own survival would be meaningless. I will die with them anyway, one way or another. Sorry, I can't do a deep, gravelly Nero voice. One, I don't have the range for it. Again, this is the only monotone voice I can do. And two, I just wouldn't be able to do it justice. And three, it's later at night and I don't want to put in the effort. So that is your answer. I can at least drop it an octave and change my cadence, I guess. Immortality with a predetermined endpoint. What a singular notion. All dead apostles who were once mages seem to suffer from the same mania. They value their ideals more than their own existence. That said, what you propose is a far cry from eternity, serpent. No, it is eternity. Let extinction be total when it comes. Once none are left to observe it, the universe will fall into everlasting stasis. The fleeting time between now and the end of human life, that is my eternity. I cannot bring that end myself, thus my only choice is to live to see it. Well, that aside, I have found one thing to amuse me within the meantime. Is that why you went through the trouble of calling me here? You have done well to find this sea. I had thought my old workshop of immortality might still be operational. I had not thought. You should be proud. Your work withstood 800 years of technological advancement, after all. I can devote myself to experiments here without anyone interfering. They say that no one, not even the will of the planet itself, can find the wandering sea. Is that not true? Oh, we're going, Atlas Institute shit. Okay. Then maybe this isn't Nero? To be honest, I'm still not super familiar with, Wandering Sea stuff, because I kind of, like I said, I dropped Grand Order around the India Lost Belt, after Gotten Damarung. And I don't know if it comes up in something like... I imagine, El Malloy case files would go into Wandering Sea stuff, because they love touching on all that kind of stuff from other properties in the, quote-unquote main Fate timeline. Huh. Not until last year, at least. Very well. I should be glad to accept the final request of a compatriot, especially one with only a year left in this world. I'm also rather interested in your exploits on the northern seas. I'm certain they will prove edifying. I kind of also lost track of who's talking here, so we'll stop the voices so that way I don't, put the wrong voice in someone's mouth and end up confusing myself and you. Well, we can save that for after we resolve the issue at hand. Turned out to be It turned out to be rather a disappointment. Now then, allow me to enlighten you about the principle within you, about the sliver of mystics which spills over into reality. With the relic of the Age of Gods, there is someone I would have you capture. With that relic... Okay, we are definitely going way off the rails from original Ciel route stuff. Countless chains bind the vampire's limbs. The bonds, like vines rooted in the wall, hold the very air captive. He calls upon lightning to aid his escape, but there is no way out. The serpent awoke from his coffin in captivity, having no opportunity to retaliate, let alone flee. He is a fish caught in a net, an insect trapped in a spider's web, and the fate that awaits him is clear, a miserable death, captured and consumed. A merciless strike tears the vampire's heart out of his chest. Vampires possess a near immortal ability to regenerate, but that power is lost if the organ that transports blood is taken from them. Oh, that's why a stake through the heart kills them, because it destroys the heart. Blood circulation is the only thing vampires have in common with living creatures. The moment they lose that, their powers are greatly diminished. In fact, it would have been preferable to have one's heart crushed. Even deprived of the magical energy in its blood, the body can still function well enough to regenerate a destroyed heart, but if it's fully removed from the body, not when the heart is ripped out wholesale. When the heart and soul are separated from the flesh, the body will quickly decay. An inexorable decline. Like an old man run out of ways to cheat death. Yeah, I'd do the same if my heart was ripped out. Give that back, he may have screamed. But his prayer goes unheard. Chains have torn out his throat so that only bone remains. His chest, where his lungs would be, has rent asunder, leaving the vampire unable to even scream in anguish.
それが遺言？今度のは特に粗末だったのね、ロア。
A beautiful voice bids him farewell. The vampire's hand falls outstretched, as if begging for life. His body has completely ceased to function. His name is Roa. It is an extremely one-sided end for the vampire spent over 10 years remaking the grounds beneath Soya.
待て待て、ちょっと待ち上がれてめえ。
Yeah, we can't kill Roa yet. What? Huh? Hello? Now I'm super confused. By the time Mario Gallo Bestino arrives on the scene, the tragedy has already been committed. Inside this clandestine chamber, where not even moonlight shines, are the stone coffin of the vampire and his body that is now carrion. And standing over it all is a woman in white, a vampire princess holding the dead vampire's heart in her left hand.
あら、誰かと思えば見知った匂い。あなた、もしかしてラウレンティスの子？
今はそっちとは関係ねえよ。マリオと呼んでくれ。
Yeah, it's me, Mario. I know people probably make that joke all the
目を
time.
離した隙にこれかよ。
Or more like he's your Italian uncle from New Jersey. It's Mario.
さあ、あいつの事情なんて知らないわ。今まで通り
It's actually
行く
kind
の
of
な
an
ら
issue
また17年ぐらい。
if Roa's dead, because it means Shiki didn't get him, and the problem's not solved, and that's like the thing. It gets solved every time, even if like the solution isn't good, even if the ending, you know, the final like what pieces are still standing isn't great. The core issue is resolved, but you just fucked everything, Ark.
17年だと。
Hey man, you'll only be 29. It's fine. You'll have most of your hair. I hope. I say, as I'm approaching 29 myself. Chagrined, Mario glares at the corpse. The expression on his face is close to pure hatred.
それじゃ間に合わねえんだよ。どうしてくれる？なんだってそんなにやる気に溢れてやがるんだよてめえ。いつもの無気力さはどこに行った？ジジイの
いつもの私？いつもの私って言った？そっか、そうね。今までの私なら確かにもうちょっと時間をかけたかも。でも今回は1秒。
ただの気まぐれかよ。
Mhm.
なんだそれ。なんか悪いもんでも
Oh, no,
食べたの
she's
か
broke.
それとも故障が近いのか？精密機械が気分でパターン変えてんじゃねえよ、くそ。
Yeah, it's like the whole, sci-fi concept. If a machine, if an advanced enough machine runs for long enough, it gains a soul, that kind of sci-fi story. But, this time, the machine always had a soul, but it couldn't use it. But now it's free! And Will Smith is here for some reason. Mario's foul mouth is nothing out of the ordinary, but his tone betrays his crumbling composure. If he had kept a cool head, his typically observant eye might have noticed the change in the woman sooner.
つまりあれか。代行者どもが頑張りすぎた。てめえが27歳とやり合っていれば、こんな結果にはならなかったわけか。
Yeah, she's, I wouldn't say she has a full tank, but she still has, gas in it now. Her 30% or whatever that she was able to use to squish this little bug.
ええ、もし私だけでブローブと戦っていたら今頃は眠っていたでしょうね。新参者ではあったけど、そうである以上は強敵だったんだろうし。
はあ、やけに素直じゃねえか。強敵、強敵ね。てめえ
She's
の
not
口
in
から
their
そんな
best
単
of
語が
shape
出る
right
とは
now.
夢にも思わなかったぜ。
そう？弱くても厄介な相手だったんだから強敵と言うべきじゃないの？
Yeah, it's like their whole thing, isn't it?
だから厄介な相手なんて感想を持たなかったんだよ。今までのあんたはな。
Well, yeah, because if she was at 100%, she would have just Marble Phantasmed his ass and it would have been like reduced to dust. Mario clicks his tongue in distaste. As she endures his murderous gaze, the vampire princess is moved by understanding.
まあいい。終わったことをうだうだ言っても時間の無駄だ。人生残り少ねえんだし、前向きにいかねえとな。根大の死とロアはこれで消滅。次の発生まで10年以上の時間がかかる。
Oh, is this how we do it?
この町での事件はめでたく解決。ロアが死んだことで死者も共倒れ。あとはポコポコ出てくる身元不明の遺体を裁くだけの簡単なお仕事だ。
あなた、代行者たちを連れてすぐに帰らないの？
帰りたいのは山々だがな。
Oh,
片
poor
足突っ込ん
Noel.
だ手前、最後ま
You
で
don't get
面
paid
倒見る
enough
しか
to
ね
get
えだろ。
dragged into this.
けどな、お姫様、あんたはいいのかよ、それで。
へえ。いいって何が？
ロアの野郎に横取りされたあんたの容量の話だ。
Mm-hmm.
その体、いい加減限界なんだろ。吸血衝動を抑えるには、ロアを
Well, I guess
真
that
の
makes
意味で
sense.
殺すしかない。こんな
You know,
使い捨て
she
の
kills
体を
him.
殺した程度じゃ、奪われたものは戻らない。
If the reason he's a dead apostle is because, she, gave some of herself to him, but now that part of her is, making her not tick right. And, she kills him and takes it back, kind of reverse the effects, maybe?
今回は最後のチャンスだったんじゃない
I'm
か。
just spitballing here.
なんだって問答
Like, if
無用
that's
で
what
始
Mario's
末しち
getting
ま
at.
ったんだ。せめて生かした状態で血を吸えば、何割かは取り戻せただろうに。
Mario's voice carries none of its usual venom. He only speaks of such recourse out of an earnest concern for her well-being. Make the pure vampire princess drink blood. He knows what an absurd suggestion it is. Her lips move. Mario can already hear the beautiful reply. Not on my life.
ああ、その手があったか。
Like, oh yeah, that's an option. Oh. Oh, Arcuid, no. She stares unblinkingly at the heart clutched in her left hand, looking for all the world as though she is about to press her lips to it. Mario's astonishment tears the words from his mouth. To think that he would ever bear witness to something so unfathomable, in this far-flung eastern land, no less.
でも、やっぱりやらない。こんな生き物を私のものにしたいと思えないし。
Yeah, he really gives you the ick, huh? Oh. Her white fingers swiftly and elegantly crush the heart. Blood spurts from it, insolvently staining her porcelain cheek. A final protest from a serpent denied even his death throes. She wipes away a droplet of his anguish and touches it to her tongue.
ほら、まだ温かい血液でも哀れなくらいまずいんだもの。
Maybe don't even have a taste, you know. Her tongue writhes, redder than blood. Her smile is the very magic that melts the hearts of men.
お前そんな側だったか。
The vampire princess ignores Mario's question. That smile is her only reply. She gracefully brushes past him.
帰らないのなら別にいいけど、次に私の後をつけたらあなたたち全部皆殺しよ、マリオネット。
The woman's footfalls echo through the underground cavern. Mario does not move until the sound fades completely. His legs tremble with fear. I will kill every single one of you. Is she referring to Mario and his subordinates? Every member of the church in the country? Perhaps every member on the planet? He knows exactly what she meant. That is why all he can do is stand, struck dumb in the darkness.
ふざけんな。ロアどころの話じゃねえ。あの女
So I thought
どうなっている
I was thinking the reason why I was talking about Noel, I'm like, oh, that's how we get Dead Apostle Noel. They like take the heart and it's like Mario, he's angry because Arcuid fucked up their plan to kill Roa for good. So they take the heart and they like force a reincarnation into Noel because she's a low-ranking member and who gives a fuck, right? And then that's how we get evil Noel, and then we fight her, and Ciel route stuff happens, and then we win, and then we kiss the girl, and then in order to get the evil out of Shiki, he needs to go through Ciel's back door for some reason. That's very important to the Ciel route. It's core to her character. But no, I have no idea where we're going. I'm just literally making shots in the dark. Mario's voice comes out in a whisper. Arcuid Brunstad has changed. And what that entails is too terrifying to contemplate. But whatever contemplation is happening here, I'm into it. You know, that's good. Good change. You know, really dramatic, you know, fucking curveball out of left field to make Arcuid potential, you know, villain. Who knows? You know, get Red Arc in the core story instead of just being, you know, a Melty Blood palette swap. But yeah, that's gonna have to wait till later in the story, I guess, because we're gonna end it here for today, because it's, you know, went for about an hour and a half. You know, we're at a save point, good clean chapter break, so I don't see any other reason to push on. Otherwise, this video will never go up until tomorrow, and I want to get it up today. It looks good on my YouTube creator home screen to see a video every other day instead of having it, you know, wait 3 days, because that makes me feel bad about not having the energy to record. But yeah, that's neither here nor there. That's for future me to worry about and for past me to lament. So, with that, I'd like to thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring the notification bell, and check out the Discord in the description down below. And I will see you guys all next time, where we will find out what the fuck is going to happen now in Ciel's route. Catch you guys there. Later now. Bye-bye. Mwah.